What's up, spectators? Welcome back to an episode of Last Window. Yes, I'm starting to use the name of the game because I'm starting to remember what it is, but it's very difficult for me when I want to say Hotel Dusk, and it's hard to remember a stupid name like Last Window, so... It's 4 p.m., which means it's TV time, but first I gotta turn the power on, because I don't know how to TV works. Oh. This is how it's done. Yep. Oh, yes. There's an old cartoon on. Japanese spies? Don't think I watched this much as a kid. Today on 5 News, we take a look back at Hugh Speck's career. From LAPD officer to candidate for LA mayor. Hugh Speck comes straight from the ranks of LA's finest, where he had a long and distinguished career. While in the LAPD, he cracked many high-profile cases, and even stamped out incidents of police corruption. One of his more famous cases happened in the 1950s. A crime ring named Condor was responsible for multiple jewel thefts all over LA. Speck was tireless in his efforts to bring Condor down. Then, 13 years ago, Speck entered the world of politics. As a politician, he continued down his path of justice. One could say that Speck was destined to lead this city. The election ahead will be very interesting indeed. This is Robert Harrison for 5 News signing off. Well done, Robert Harrison, for your 20-second job. Hugh Speck. He was an officer in the LAPD during the incident involving my old man. It's true that back in the day, he solved his fair share of cases. But in the one surrounding my dad, Officer Speck had a far lesser role to play. Okay, now how am I going to keep myself occupied? Still plenty of time until dinner. Maybe I'll take a trip down to Lucky's Cafe and grab a coffee. Head nod. Hey, I actually know where that is, because we were there earlier. Ba-ba-ba. Of course they stuck me in the room all the way down the hall. I recognize that guy over there. He's, oh my god, look at that blouse. I don't even want to talk to him. Can I do that? Can I just walk? Oh my god, he follows me around wherever I go. Oh, what a creepy guy. Well, hello there. Hi. I definitely know this guy. He's on the 3rd floor in. You're Kyle from 202, aren't you? You... Shut up! No one would know that! Your full name. Ugh. And you're... Charles. 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 Is there something wrong with my name? Ah, no, I get it. You forgot again, didn't you? You got me, kid. But it's coming back to me. Your full name's Charles Junet? Exactement. Might be a good idea to make a note of it or something. There's only 9 people in this building. It shouldn't be too hard to learn their names. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, kid. Some people find it very rude if you forget their name, you know. Trust me, I don't forget names on purpose. They just seem to slip through the cracks. I don't go around presuming everyone remembers me either. Interesting attitude. Thank you, Mr. Hyde. That helps me understand the kind of person you are better. Glad to hear it. Try to make the effort to remember my name from now on, yes? When I forget a person's name, I feel terrible inside. I hear you loud and clear. The kid's name is Charles. He came over as an exchange student from France about a year ago. According to Betty, he has dreams of becoming a big-time movie director. You're buddies with Billy, who used to live in 205, right? That's right. I remember Betty telling me a while back. Betty's lovely, isn't she? It's a shame that we won't be living in the same building as her for much longer. We've all got places. We've all got to leave this place after all. Thanks for the reminder. I heard the alarm bell ringing earlier. Do you know what happened? That was just the test, nothing special. I thought it might have been something a little more exciting. Here we go again, I thought. Have you got a moment? What did you think had happened? I thought it was happening all over again. What was? You know, like the panic about the fire from 2 weeks ago. I thought it was another fire. There was a fire here 2 weeks ago? Didn't you hear about it? I didn't hear a thing, but then again, I was away on a trip at the time. It happened around lunchtime on a weekday. Do you know where the fire broke out? Yeah, it was up this staircase on the 4th floor. Interesting. Yes. I heard that someone came into the building and started it. Luckily, someone spotted it and put it out right away. So the building didn't suffer any lasting damage. So who put the fire out? Mr. Raver? Frank Raver 302. That's him. If Mr. Raver hadn't noticed the fire, who knows what might have happened. By the way, Mr. Hyde, what are you going to do after you leave this place? I haven't quite worked that out yet. Me neither. I haven't even started looking for a new apartment. I really like this place, despite it being a little old and run down. You and me both, kid. I'll see you later, Mr. Hyde. Charles says goodbye and leaves. Alright, hang on a sec. Let me double check that I have all these people in my thing. Frank 302. Billy 205. Alright. Let me just put Charles. No room. And we're going to Lucky's Cafe. Oh, hey. That's some fine smelling food. Oh, hi, Mark. Huh? God, this awkward guy. Look at the way he stands. I just want to knock him over. You again. I'm bumping into you a lot lately, Mr. Hyde. Yeah, don't make a habit of it. Stay in your room. Mr. Raver, if that is your real name. Good timing. I have some things I'd like to ask you. What is this, an ambush? Charles told me that you came across a fire on the 4th floor 2 weeks back. I did, yes. What about it? Are you in the habit of wandering in and out of bound areas? Oh, I'm sorry. Wandering around in out of bounds areas? What can I say? I get bored easily. I don't have a job to go to anymore either. Plus, it's good for my health to climb up and down the stairs. I thought for a moment you had something interesting to ask me. Goodbye. Frank slips away towards the staircase. So you're telling me this apartment building has a cafe in it? How dope is this? Lucky's Cafe, best food and raw caffeine in town. It's worth the trip downstairs just for that aroma of freshly ground coffee. That is an ugly tree. Hi! Welcome to Lucky's Cafe. Oh, Mr. Hyde, nice to see you. Today's coffee is a straight Guatemalan mineral roast. Sounds good. I'll take one of those, coarsely ground and black. Gotcha. Can I get you something to go with that? That's the $1 million question. Maybe I can tempt you with today's special dessert. We've only got one left. I made it myself, which makes it an extra special. Yeah, why not? I'm sure you won't regret it. What is it, though? Claire. The perky waitress is Claire Reagan, the daughter of the cafe owner. She's always cheery and keeps the customers coming back. Guess she'll be taking your regular spot, right? Right. I have a habit of always sitting in the same seat when I come here. Sitting here enjoying a good coffee is one of the best things about this place. Here you go. Today's coffee and one of my special desserts. Whoa, what is it? Oh, plum truffles? My own homemade plum truffles. I took a ripe, dried plum, filled it with a wonderfully fruity chocolate ganache, coated it with a slightly bitter type of chocolate for an edgy flavor. It all adds up to a deliciously sweet dessert. Hope you like it, Mr. Hyde. Okay, so powdered chocolate like a tiramisu, okay. It certainly looks tasty. She drifts away. There's an appetizing looking combination of coffee and dessert on the table. That's a fine aroma. The fragrant coffee takes me away from my troubles, if only for a while. Well, well, Mr. Hyde. Everyone is so nosy. How is he having a conversation with somebody every 5 minutes? That would drive me crazy. Looks like I can't stay away from your coffee for too long, can I? Glad to hear it. How are you finding today's blend? Let me see. Full flavored, slightly bitter, and with a fine aroma to boot. Isn't it spectacular? Got my hands on some top-notch beans. A little darker, but ground coarsely and drip slowly, giving it a richer taste. I find it pays to add a little more than you think you need to. Well, it sure beats the instant crap. I'll take that as a compliment. Sydney. The guy's name is Sidney Reagan. He's Claire's father and he owns the place. He can dig his heels in when he wants to, but he likes to talk and we get on well. Say, what'd you think of the dessert? Be honest now. It was great. How great exactly? You know, just great. I thought you'd say something like that. For me, I find that adding some liqueur really sets the taste apart from the rest. Man, I would love to be in an apartment just above like a cafe restaurant. I'd go down all the time. I'd be like this dude, spending money on coffee every day when I could just be making it myself just for the company. Or if I could look out a window, it sounds pretty nice. Adding just the right amount boosts the impact of the ganache. Helps to balance the taste of the plums and cocoa too. Cocoa, yeah. If you tried a dessert I'd put together, chances are you'd be pining for another. Fjords. How come you don't tell Claire all this? Don't get me wrong, it isn't like I haven't tried. She's just not interested in my take on recipes. Tells me to keep them to myself. Tells me she hates me. She's in the habit of ignoring my good advice. Sometimes I think I can even see my ex-wife's personality poking through. By the way, Mr. Hyde, do you know the customer sitting over there in the back? Which one? Him, over there, the guy in the sunglasses. Guy in the sunglasses. Whoa, okay. There's a shifty-looking guy sitting in the back wearing sunglasses. Who the hell is that guy? He a friend of yours? Why would he be a friend? Oh wait, I guess that's a fair thing to ask. I mean, we're regulars. He's a nice guy. Never laid eyes on him before. Strange. He seems to know all about you. What? He came round asking questions and everything. Just figured he must be a friend of yours. Looks like I got it all wrong, though. Sydney finishes speaking and leaves the table side. Who is that guy, and how does he know about me? I end up throwing my plums at his face to get his attention. All right, asshole. Who do you think you are? Hey! Got a moment? That depends. Firstly, who the hell are you? Sydney said you knew who I am. But I never even met you before. Time to start talking, pal. Is that right? Why don't we begin with your name? The name's Foster. Rex Foster. Oh, that's who's the guy in my book who I put as Rex Meat. Foster. It's Rex. Why am I sounding like this now? Rex Foster. It's great because the voice doesn't match his face at all if I give it that voice. So, he calls himself Rex Foster. This must be the guy that called Mom and Rachel. Finally, I got a face to the name I keep hearing. You've been busy making a lot of calls, it would seem. What are you after? I don't seem to remember asking for a guy like you to follow me around. Yeah, okay, you got me. You got something you want to say? Kyle! You're really trying to pretend you're a salesman, aren't you? I don't know what... The way you speak is a dead giveaway, though. There's no hiding you're a detective. I don't know what the voice is just becoming. It's something quite horrible. What did you just say? Whoops, there I go again! You used to be a pretty good detective back when you were a cop in New York. Seems you had a pretty high opinion of yourself too, but it seems that pop may have been a little exaggerated. Didn't have you pegged as someone who'd want to conceal their past as a detective. Guess I was wrong. I don't see that my opinion of myself has got anything to do with you. But let's get back on track. What exactly do you want from me? About time you asked! I was hoping to ask you some questions is all. Questions? To begin with, why'd you choose to live in this particular building? No reason, just wound up here. Pull the other one, that's not the reason. You set up here because of the place once being Hotel Cape West. I don't know what he's rambling about. Made you think, did I? Let's try another question, shall we? What's your attitude, buddy? You trying to hack the fact that there was some trouble today on the second floor. What are you talking about, you idiot? So you're saying nothing happened, are you? Nothing happened. Fair enough, I just wanted to ask. Who does this guy think he is? Huh? Thinks he's hot shit? Who is he? And who gave him this awful voice? I did, obviously. It's awful. It's horrendous. But I've committed. How'd you know I was a detective? Now that would be telling. Don't play the innocent with me. You'd better start talking real quick. Let's just say a little bit of research on you went a long way. So you're researching me now, are you? Care to elaborate? Who the hell are you? Easy. You're not the only person I'm looking into. Is that supposed to make me feel better? I can't really tell you anything right now. Speaking to you could be quite dangerous, Kyle. Cut the crap. And define dangerous. Dangerous. Adjective. Nah, I don't know. If you know too much, you might be feel inclined to get in my way. And why would I want to get in your way? I don't even know you. I never said you do it on purpose, but guys like you just tend to get in the way. You're making less and less sense as you go along. You may have left the force to seek a life without too much excitement, but guys like you just get a whiff of a case and switch right back to their old ways. And that's precisely why I can't afford to have you get in my way. Or the highway. Guys like me. You want to explain that to me? Oh, I'm sure you understand just fine. That's me done, I'm leaving. Not so fast. Take it easy, Kyle. There's plenty of time for us to sit down and chat, you know. Rex says his piece and leaves. Who does this guy think he is? As Mr. Hyde. Huh? So who was that guy? His name's Rex Faust. Oh, that's how it all started. Foster? If I'm saying Foster, I have to say it in this dumb way, and then it turned into some weird thing where it's almost like half Seinfeld, half Christopher Walken, something. Whatever this is. Seems he's been gathering information about me. Why would he do that? You in some sort of trouble? Not that I know of. He wasn't a detective, was he? Trust me, he was no detective. More likely he's working for some lousy agency or a third-rate newspaper. I guess you're right. He seemed like a weirdo right from the moment I laid eyes on him. Sometimes he'd have his notebook open on the table. Seemed like when he thought of something, he'd write it down. Notebook. When he'd read his notes back to himself, oh, then he would. It bugs me every time I see him. What made you think he was weird? For one, he's been coming here all the time starting 2 or 3 days ago. You mean he's been coming here for 2 to 3 days? Okay, yeah, alright. Let's not exaggerate. Tammy, you're in the way, baby. Oh, my kitty. Oh, I love you. Spending long hours with just a single cup of coffee staring at my customers. And also, there's more? He goes around asking all kinds of questions, such as about stuff from the past mostly. What kind of notes has he been making? When I took his coffee over once, I nearly caught a glimpse of his notes. But he noticed right away and snapped his notebook shut. Asking about stuff from the past, like what? He tends to be fixated on this building's past when it used to be a hotel. That's quite a while back. It is. He also asked about something that happened 13 years ago. He never revealed his motives about why he was so interested in that particular event. What happened in the hotel 13 years ago? That's a tough question, and I'd appreciate it if you kept this to yourself. Mrs. Patrice asked me to avoid talking about it. She seemed especially keen to keep it from the people living in the apartments. What happened? I think I can trust you not to spread it around, Mr. Hyde. If the truth be known, when this building was still a hotel, there was a murder here. On top of that, the case was never solved. An unsolved murder? What do you know about the incident? I don't think I'd better go into any more detail, Mr. Hyde. Come on, you told me this much. Thing is, someone involved in the incident is rather close to me. There are also those who are keen to forget about the incident once and for all. Please understand, I'm just not happy to continue discussing it. One more thing. What is it? That Rex Foster guy seems to be after information concerning that murder. He could be a reporter. The more I think about it, the more it fits. A shady character like him would make a perfect reporter for one of those gossip mags. I'll bet money that's where he's from. Could be. Changing the subject, Mr. Hyde, have you decided who's going to get your vote? I haven't quite made up my mind. The media seems to be focused on Hugh Speck, the ex-congressman. I personally don't like the idea of him winning, though. Why's that? I just find that guys like him with police backgrounds and such can be a bit suspicious. I got a friend who swears the guy was on the take during his days on the force. He said he was also into racketeering, among other things. We're talking about Hugh Speck, right? I've never heard these rumors. Well, it's politics, right? Everyone's at least a bit corrupt. It won't be easy for whoever becomes mayor. Lowering the crime rate will be tough. Ain't that the truth? Did you hear about the robbery at the jeweler's near here? Sydney puts a newspaper down on the table. This kind of crime gives people like me the jitters. It reminds me of a very similar incident a while back. Dad! Yeah? We got orders queued up over here. Can you come back to the counter for a while? Sure thing, I'll be right over. Duty calls, Mr. Hyde. I'll catch up with you another time. Do you mind if I take a look at this newspaper? Not a problem. Take your time. Sydney makes his way back behind the counter. All right, hang on a second. Before we end this video, let me go ahead and come in here. Rex! Why is the eraser so small? Come on. Foster! Oh, no, wait. All right, everyone, well, with the game saved, and it being just about 30 minutes, I'd like to end this video here. So, stay tuned for the next episode, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye! Also, fun fact, Sydney, if you rearrange the letters, you can spell Disney. Haha!